intentions. You insulted him like that just now, and yet he still thought of passing on medical skills to you. With a brother like that, you don't even know how to cherish him. You even want to kick him out of the house. If your Liu family doesn't want him, our Xie family can adopt him. Xie Jing snapped. I shook my head. Thank you for your kindness, Aunt Yujing. My parents treat me very well. As long as they don't kick me out, I won't leave the Liu family either. Liu Xiaoxuan took Xi's Zhan's pulse again. Aside from the pulse being a little weaker than before, there was no significant difference. During the pulse taking, she suddenly recalled what I had said when I poked my head in. At that time, I saw many scars on the patient, and reminded her to pay attention to the patient's internal organs, and whether there was any shrapnel left in his body. Liu Xiaoxuan's eyes suddenly lit up. She reached out and felt the old man's body. At the location of the last needle insertion, she felt a hard object, very small, inside the old man's body. That hard object was extremely small, only slightly larger than the tip of a needle. She immediately had an epiphany. No wonder when performing acupuncture just now, the feeling in her hand when inserting the last needle into the old man was off. Recalling her scolding of me just now, her cheeks flushed red with embarrassment. Sorry about just now, she said in a low voice. After knowing the reason, she was now completely confident she could cure this old man. I paid no attention to her apology. I just held the needle over the old man's body and pointed to a few acupoints. I looked at Long Aotian and asked, should I insert the needles in these spots? Little quack doctor, do you have any better ideas? Long Aotian frowned, not knowing what I meant. Xie Yujing thought that I was discussing a better treatment plan with Long Aotian. She looked at Long Aotian anxiously. Little miracle doctor, is that right? Do you have a better treatment plan? Long Aotian shook his head. If it were me, I would insert them the same way. Xie Jing felt relieved. If they both agreed, it proved that this acupuncture method was definitely the best solution at the moment. Next, before I inserted each needle, I would first ask for Long Aotian's opinion. This gave everyone the impression that I had some ability, but not a lot. Until the last needle was inserted, the old man's eyes slowly opened. Xie immediately knelt before Xie Zhan. His eyes were red with excitement. Dad, how are you feeling? Are you feeling better? Xie Xing also squatted by the edge of the bed, with a worried expression. Dad, what on earth is wrong with you? Just now, I heard from Big Brother that you were in a coma. I was scared to death. Although Xie Zhan was weak, his eyes were dignified without needing to be angry. He yelled at Xie Hu, what kind of a grown man cries like this? When you get back, do a 30-kilometer weighted march for me. But when speaking to Xie Xing, his voice softened considerably. It's just my old ailments. A moment ago, I saw your mother. She asked me how you kids are doing now. I told her that my son is still as useless as ever, and my daughter is becoming more and more like her. His gaze was gentle, as if he were seeing someone else's shadow through Xie Xing. Suddenly, he felt something was wrong. He frowned slightly and looked down at his legs. Dad, what's wrong? The two of them noticed the old man's abnormality. It's just that my legs have no strength. It feels like they're paralyzed. I'll probably get my strength back after eating some meat at home, Xie Zhan said. Xie Ho looked towards me and asked doubtfully, didn't you say you could completely cure the old man? My gaze turned towards that quack doctor, Long Aotian. I could even cure his earlier coma. This is just removing some bruised blood from his legs and clearing the meridians a bit. Can't you treat it? Long Aotian gritted his teeth, his hands clenched into fists. Now he finally understood why. Just a moment ago, I kept asking him how to perform the acupuncture. The previous acupuncture treatment was also his plan. If he said he could treat it now, wouldn't that prove he had the complete treatment plan for the old man? Then his earlier statement that the old man would end up disabled, wouldn't that expose his intention to use this favor to latch onto the Xie family? He took a deep breath and gently shook his head, saying shamefully, I am a nameless practitioner without a sect. I've only been fumbling on my own for a few years. There are some symptoms I haven't studied yet. Liu Xiaoxuan looked at Long Aotian, her eyes showing unconcealed disgust. To people like Xie Hu and Xie Xing, they might feel that every profession has its own specialty. But to someone like her who studied traditional Chinese medicine, the old man's current condition could only be considered basic knowledge. As a young lady from a wealthy family, she immediately understood the scheme behind it. As long as the old man wasn't cured, Long Aotian could continuously demand benefits from the Xie family, and the Xie family would have no choice but to let Long Aotian bleed them dry. She really wanted to expose this villain on the spot, but she knew her words held no weight right now. Just as Liu Xiaoxuan had predicted, Xie Hu and Xie Xing didn't feel anything was amiss. They looked towards me and said, young brother, we'll have to trouble you to put in more effort again. I shrugged and said to Xiu, Yu Xing and Xihu, it's no trouble. The rest are just a few minor ailments, all basic knowledge in traditional Chinese medicine. Everyone here can treat the old man. Auntie Yu Xing, in the future, you can't just trust any of these miracle doctors you find on the street. Getting scammed out of money is one thing, but delaying treatment can be deadly. Xiu Yu Xing glanced at Long Aotian, now feeling a little suspicious. She began to wonder if Long Aotian had just happened to encounter a patient straight out of a textbook, which was why he was able to cure him, or if Long Aotian was actually holding back his skills, wanting to use this opportunity to latch onto the XY family. Seeing that Xiu Xing had begun to suspect Long Aotian, I added more fuel to the fire. I took Liu Xiaoxuan's arm and pushed her forward. The mistake she just made, let her atone for it. Liu Xiaoxuan looked at me in surprise, not expecting me to be willing to give her a chance to prove herself. Xiu Xing and Xiu frowned, clearly not particularly trusting of Liu Xiaoxuan. I looked towards Xie Zhan and asked, Old sir, the fact that there's still shrapnel in your chest, do your children know? Xie Hu was stunned. He asked doubtfully, Dad, you still have shrapnel in your chest? Xie Zhan snorted coldly. What's the use of telling you? So many famous doctors have looked at it and said it can't be removed. Even if you knew, could you take it out? Xie Hu shrank back. Dad, I am just concerned about you. I don't need your concern. My health is still perfectly fine. Just train well, and serve the country soon enough. Don't bring shame to our Xie family. Xie Zhan yelled. I looked at Xie Zhan and yelled back in dissatisfaction. Even your own son doesn't know about your health condition. As a result, you fell into a coma, and no one informed us. Do you know how many medical incidents are caused each year because patients conceal their medical records? If you die, so be it. You're old anyway. But do you know what a huge psychological scar it leaves on a doctor when a patient dies? Because of you, you almost destroyed the hope of our great Sia's future medicine. Hearing my explanation, Xiu, Xing, and Xihu finally understood. It wasn't that Liu Xiaoxuan's medical skills were poor, but that their father's body had a special problem. Liu Xiaoxuan lowered her head and bit her lip lightly. She hadn't expected me to not only explain for her, but also to show concern in my words about whether this incident would leave her with a psychological scar. A deep sense of guilt welled up in her heart. I wasn't thinking that deeply. I just wanted to clarify Liu Xiaoxuan's responsibility in the old man's medical incident. After all, any compensation would be my hard-earned money. I paused for a moment, then continued to complain tearfully. You were the ones who concealed the medical records, leading to a medical incident, and your son even threatened to make our entire Liu family be buried with him. Our Liu family has provided Jiang Cheng with millions of jobs. If our Liu family collapses, are you going to make these millions of people go out and starve? Xie Zhan's face turned red from